What's up, guys? So a lot of people have asked me where I think the new characters Zamasu and Vegito Blue fit on the tier list. So I went ahead and updated my tier list on stream last night to contain the new characters and gave kind of my thoughts on why I think they're there. So if you haven't seen the original tier list video, you can click the link in the upper right corner. Otherwise, enjoy the clip from the stream, guys. Thanks for watching. Alright. So a lot of people have been asking me where I think the new characters, Vegito, Blue, and Zamasu belong on the tier list. So let's really make some people mad with some bold declarations here. So I think right off the bat, I think the worst of the two characters is Vegito. I think Vegito belongs right about here. And that's for a few reasons. So I think he's... This may be shocking, but I think he's down here with, you know, Beerus and Goku Blue and all those other guys. And I'll try my best to explain why. So, he has a few major problems. One thing he does have going for him is damage. He's like... Let me turn off block all. He's like one of the most damaging characters in the game. Like, the amount of damage that he can get for 0 to 2 meters is more than basically any other character in the game. So, that's a big deal. But he has a lot of problems that kind of work against him. So, for one thing, his down light is so weird. Like, this move has its uses, but like a lot of characters, their down light, you know, you can just do it. You can just do it for a hit confirm. A lot of characters, their down light hits low. Not everyone, like Yamcha, his down light doesn't hit low, but you can at least do 2 of them to hit confirm. Or you can do 3 jabs like that. Vegito Blue, his down light is very, very awkward. You can't use it like a panic button like you can with most characters, so that's a real bummer. And his stand light is really weird too. Like, it's this multi-hit thing, which is kind of nice, but it has its own share of problems as well. For example, if you whiff it, super easy for the opponent to whiff punish. You know, like if they see this move, they have all the time in the world to down medium you, so that's a big problem. And plus, it's slower than most jabs. Most jabs are 6 frames. I think this is like 7 or 8. So in situations where, like, if you block something that's 0 on block, like overhead, and you both jab, most of the time you're gonna lose because his jab is slow. So these are all big problems. His only low is down medium, which is, it's a pretty good down medium, but like when he's coming at you like this, like, first of all, that's not a real combo, is it? So yeah, he can't really do double overhead into low. So his mix-up game hurts a lot for that. He can only do double overhead into mid or a single overhead into low. And even that's pretty hard to do, but yeah. So his mix-up game's not that good. His hit confirming game, like, he can't use down light to hit confirm as most characters can, so those are big problems. And also his neutral is kind of awkward. Like, I tend to say that characters with good projectiles have a bit of a crutch in neutral. Like, Zamasu's a good example, right? This is a really good projectile. You can kind of throw it out a lot. As long as the enemy's not close enough to, like, run under you and punish, you can throw this move out a lot. You can vanish cancel it on hit, get a combo. It's like a good crutch, and any character with a Kamehameha can kind of do this. And it makes neutral a little bit easier when you kind of just have this to throw out to stop the enemy from getting close to you. Vegito, his projectiles are, like, okay. But they have, obviously, the big problem that they can be super dashed through, so it's a big problem. And, like, sure, Vegeta, his assists can be super dashed through. Like, his, you know, air barrage thing, you can super dash through that, but that has, like, a million other uses that this doesn't have. And that's also his assist, which is a problem. He kind of has a weak assist. It doesn't really do much. Compared to a character like Zamasu, who does have a good assist, but we'll talk about that more later. So yeah, Vegito, he reminds me a lot of Tien, where you can't completely write them off because they do so much damage. Those two are probably the most damaging characters in the game. And you can see, coincidentally, I put them on the same tier. A lot of people think Tien should be up here, but I kind of think this is where he belongs because they both have kind of awkward neutral. Tien does have a beam, which Vegito doesn't have. But yeah, Tien's still kind of awkward to play at neutral. Kind of hard to get in with. And yeah, Vegito, a lot of problems in neutral. Hard to mix people up. So it's hard to get that hit that he needs to do all that damage. Like, a ton of damage isn't going to help you if you can never get a hit. So that's why I'm putting Vegito right there. And so where, you may ask, does Zamasu belong? Well, I've hinted at it a little bit by talking about how Zamasu has a lot of stuff Vegito doesn't. I think Zamasu belongs right about here. I think he's a solid mid-tier. Maybe like upper half of the cast, but I don't want to make that distinction. But yeah, Zamasu, I think, is pretty darn good. So first of all, like I mentioned, he can do triple low. Vegito cannot do that. So he's really good at mixing people up. He can do double overhead into double or triple low. So right off the bat, his mix-ups are just way, way better than Vegito's. His damage is a little bit awkward. That's probably his biggest downside, is just like, off of like random hits, he doesn't get very much damage. But in certain situations, his damage becomes very high. Like, a lot of times, especially in the corner, if you're landing hits, you're going to be using that to, you know, set up a mix-up or something like that, so that you can loop the damage back around. And Vegito doesn't really have that. One of the big problems with Vegito is he's going to do a lot of damage, but then once the combo's over, it's not bad. Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to say that I had the picture up there. My bad. But yeah, like, Zamasu, when he gets a hit, it's a lot easier for him to set up getting another hit, which is not as possible with Vegito. That's a big problem. Zamasu not having an air launcher is really awkward. I'll acknowledge that. It's an issue with him getting damage. But I think once people become more optimal, his damage is not going to be that much of a problem. And so back to his neutral. This move is just really good. This is one of the better projectiles in the game. It's nice because unlike, especially as an assist, it's like really, really good for chasing down, and it doesn't push them full screen, unlike a Kamehameha. So you can combo off it like that. So this move is really good. It's good for just throwing out in neutral. And he's got some other good neutral tools, like being able to slash and then keep it safe by canceling into flight is pretty good. Flight's pretty good for mix-ups as well. You know, or stuff like I was showing earlier. And like flight to do empty lows, or, you know, fast overheads. Stuff like that. So he's got good mix-ups. He's got pretty good damage. I would say damage is his biggest downside. But Zamasu in general, he's like a valuable character to have on your team. Like, I think I talked a lot about how, like, Goku is not a super amazing character on point, but he's a valuable character to have on your team. And why is that? It's because he has a beam assist, a very good assist, and because he's very good at using meter, he can do super into super and stuff like that. Or a character like Gotank's a valuable character to have on your team because of assist. He has high DHC synergy, stuff like that. So these guys might not be like the most overpowered characters on their own, but they're valuable to have on a team. As opposed to someone like Adult Gohan or like Bardock. These are really, really good characters, don't get me wrong, but they don't bring a lot of team synergy. And of course, one of the reasons why Cell is so overpowered is because not only is he one of the best point characters, but also he brings a lot of team utility. He's got a good assist, really good for DHCs, tag cancels, all that stuff. Cell is ridiculous. But yeah, so Zamasu, I think, is another example of a character who brings a lot to the team because his assist is so good. Because of stuff like, you know, Blade Super, you know, he can use meter really well. And he can do a lot of damage for it, too. So there's, you know, there's like this combo. Like, you can burn through all your meter and do a ton of damage for it. So Zamasu is really good for that reason. Someone asked what DHC means. It's delayed hyper combo, which is like an old school word for what they call Z change in this game. If you do a super and you cancel it into another super, people call that a DHC. That's from Marvel vs. Capcom. That was the first game to have those, and that called it a DHC. So I think I've pretty much said my piece. So in the end, I think neither of them are like amazingly good characters. But I do think Zamasu's better. But I think if you like them, feel free to put them on your team. As I said in the last video, I think every character in this game is viable. I mean, obviously, Piccolo just won a huge tournament. So, clearly you can do well with any character. If you're willing to put in the time. And I really like Zamasu, so I think I'm willing to put in the time for him. I'm going to keep playing him for a while. Either until I get really tired of him or until someone I like better comes along. So, Zamasu's really cool. Alright guys, that's going to be it for the video. Like all my videos, this was made possible by the help of my patrons, including these guys on the Shoutout Squad, D Hamster, Phil Stewart, and Zero Force 14. So if you want to become a patron and help support the channel, as well as getting access to things like updates on where the channel is going, and patron-exclusive lobbies where you can play me and other patrons, you can click the link here or go to patreon.com/jmcrofts. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. You can check out either of these links to more videos from me, or you can click the link right here to subscribe if you're not already. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.